Hey, awesome LHS faculty. I want to thank you guys for all the work that you put into our professional learning pathways this year. When we started the year, we talked about Ohana, and we wanted everybody to feel like Lexington High was family, both the adults and the students. When we've talked about deeper learning, we talked about the strategies that we put into place so that we take our students to deeper levels in their understanding and their engagement in their classes, but also because when they do that, they see themselves as part of that class and they see themselves as belonging as a scientist, as a mathematician, as an artist. So deeper learning is about creating connections and belonging. And what I watched this year with Professional Pathways was that you guys have taken your own learning deeper and you've seen yourself and appreciated yourself as part of a group of learners. And that makes me tremendously proud. So congratulations on all your work this fall. I think it has paid off and I can't wait to see what we do next. Here's what some of your colleagues had to say about their learning this fall.
So I've been focusing on the thinking skill of visualizing a graphic representation with my students to help them generate their own understanding of key terms and concepts through visual input. When new information is presented verbally and connected with visuals, students are better able to understand and make meaning of text or concepts that are being taught. Graphic organizers and images, whether it be symbols or icons or drawings or even Google images. So what levels the playing field is when students are able to think and see by using more visual content. Not only are they making meaning, they're also more likely to retain, recognize, and recall that information.
Well, one of the things that's difficult in English too is since it's an EOC course, the pressure is always to prepare for the test, and we definitely want to do that, but we also want to get away from that and give students choice and voice in assessment. So one of the ways that we've done that this semester is through our study of All Quiet on the Western Front. And normally at the end of that unit we give a very traditional 5-paragraph essay. Instead this year we've done something a little different. We're going to let them do a raft project where they can still meet the same standards and demonstrate mastery, but instead of doing it in a more traditional and kind of stringent approach with the paper, they can decide to either write a journal entry or to rewrite the end of the novel or to write a newspaper article or even to write a song or a rap or a poem. Well, I think that the way that we're doing these particular assessments, it meets students where they are and it gives them a way to interact with the assignment in a way that they're excited about and that they're interested in. But when you give them the opportunity to be creative and you see some of the things that they create, it's absolutely exciting for me.
I think the most exciting thing that I've been doing lately is collaborating more with teachers in other departments, particularly in the IB program. I've been working with the English and history teachers to be able to kind of cross-cover a lot of different topics. It's been really fun to kind of see how the different classes can connect, and it's helping the students feel a little bit more confident, because if they're learning about it in Spanish in my class and then learning it about it in history and English as well, it really helps to kind of constantly recycle and rehash the information for them so it makes a little bit more sense on a global scale.
Yeah, so this year we are in AD Environmental Science. We're adding this aquaponics system, and we're going to look at hands-on fish care, plant care, and looking at data all within a collaborative and technology-based lesson plan. We're going to do it in the spring, but I foresee this really working well with a lot of students because it's more hands-on. So it's not just about memorizing information, but more about doing and acting and going through what the real world is going to be like, and using some of those tools that they have learned and implementing them in a way that they'll see once they get to the workforce.
What I'm realizing as the semester continues and when it starts to come to a close is that my students are learning how they learn best. We were discovering that in our algebra classes that our students were more focused on the answer than the process. And so we were looking for a way to help them to not focus on the answer and really understand what they're doing and being able to explain it using mathematical vocabulary. So we implemented more error analysis problems on our assessments so that they weren't necessarily focusing on completing the problem and getting an exact answer, but focusing on the steps that were taken in the problem to figure out and verbally or written explained to me how I went wrong. The choice board was a project that we implemented for actually for the first half of the course. And so with our choice board, they were able to there were 5 different assignments on the choice board, and each assignment had 3 choices. And so by allowing them to have 3 choices, they were able to pick what they were strongest with. And it was very interesting and unique for the kids to see.
So this year, a lot of our focus has been how can we get students to think deeper and think more critically about the content we're talking about. So one of the big thinking strategies I've used this year is visualization. And all visualization is getting students to take whatever content we're learning about and create an image, whether it's in their mind or on a piece of paper or any platform, to show their understanding of the content. The most exciting thing about the changes I'm making for student learning is that the kids are more engaged. I mean, history is not always everyone's thing, and the kids are really having a good time making those connections. Like, we had them do a storyboard on the causes of the Civil War and on the causes of the Great Depression at different times during the year, and kids really produced wonderful products that really showed off both their artistic and their creative side, but also did a great job explaining how all of those events caused the bigger historical events we were talking about.
We have a food truck summative that we do at the end of our nutrition unit. And what that does is, rather than that being a traditional pencil paper test that show the students' mastery, it's a project skills-based assessment that allows the students to showcase their creativity. It allows them to collaborate with their peers. The students are asked to create a 3D model of their food truck and 2 signature dishes, and the signature dishes allow the students to showcase their deeper level of learning by comprehending, taking what they learned from the lesson and putting that into understanding what makes a healthy meal and a healthy plate, and then talking about why or why their meal did not meet those requirements and expectations. It's a super fun project. The students love it, and it allows them to be very hands-on and to be actively engaged. And what it also does is it allows them to show their critical thinking skills by putting what they learned during the unit into what their project is and being able to put their own spin on that project.
What an awesome fall. We've had a great time on all the different learning pathways.
You guys have asked a lot of good questions during our PL sessions together. You've implemented and shared ideas with your peers, and you've really strengthened our LHS learning community.
We can't wait to see what happens in the spring semester.